Hello, hello, hello. Eric here again with another Medieval 2 Total War quick battle. Just randomly generating a skirmish here, and we're going to see what we've got and what we're up against. Right away, looks like I am playing the Holy Roman Empire. Kind of a precursor to Germany.
I have brought you here to fight. I brought you here because you are duty-bound Germans, and no enemy looks on you without fear.
Like I said, Germany.
I promise nothing save a hard struggle. But would you have me tell you anything else? Would you have me pour honeyed words into your ears? I thought not. Our Egyptian foes should pray to their god. Shortly they will be judged before him. We will send them all to heaven or hell soon enough.
Okay, gotta say that was not the most inspiring speech I've ever heard, but sounds like...
enemy hope to blow us into the next world, I
oh,
see with their
there's more.
cannons. Sankt Barbara preserve us from such a fate. Let us hope that the barrels will split and visit hellfire upon them. And now, let's to the foe. I feel hungry already. And war gives me an excessive appetite. Let's to the battle, and then the feast!
Yeah, that speech didn't get any more inspiring. It just kind of, I don't know, raw facts. But, sounds like I am Germans here, the Holy Roman Empire, and I'm going to be fighting Egypt in a snow mountain, which is Egypt's natural terrain. They're going to have some artillery. I've got a little bit of artillery. I think I'll probably try to set up around here so that if they come at me from the center, I'll have a little bit, at least, a little bit of high ground. See what we've got for an army, though. Already, it's not looking like the, world's greatest army, but I guess we'll see. Got a couple of these religious fanatics, so these would be like your pilgrims that are coming back or headed towards the Crusades. I'm gonna guess they're not very close to the Holy Land right now because of all this snow and forestiness, but these guys are not going to be very much good. You can see they've only got those clubs there. Got a couple crossbows, it looks like, and they are pretty much it for my traditional ranged units.
Onward!
Not very heavily armored either. I got a couple early riflemen.
Forward!
I do not put as much faith in actually as I would in my crossbows because they just don't have the accuracy or some of the range. Those early gunpowder weapons are pretty finicky. Got some missile cavalry. I'm not sure if these guys have got... It looks like guns. It looks like they are early, like, single-shot pistol cavalry guys. So these will be interesting. And then, aside from that, I have got a kind of a moderate contingent of some heavy cav here. These guys are more Lancer types, I think. Yeah. Knights. I got General. And I've got another General. This is kind of a later period bodyguard, so these guys would be much more heavily armored. In fact, I'll probably send them over here, so they can get stuck in the fight by themselves and do alright. I got some sergeants, which are spear guys, and I have got some dismounted knights, which are going to make up more or less the extent of my infantry. Looks like I've got one or two more units floating around out here, though. Oh, I did have two of those knights, so I'm going to want to bring them both over here. And I think I'll group up my artillery and my foot soldiers because I've got one other unit sitting out here. Sergeant Spearmen. So these are going to be fairly similar to my armored sergeants, but they don't have the same level of armor. It won't last as long in the fight. So I think I'll bring them up here actually to guard that flank, and I'll adjust a little bit based on what I end up against. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl. Okay, so right away it looks like they have decided to array pretty high up on that hill with some cavalry. I'm going to go ahead and put my artillery to fire at will and get some shots off on them. They've got a sizable force up on this hill. And they've got some archer cavalry there. So I think their missile troops are going to be far superior to mine. I just don't have the range that it looks like they do. Spears, they got a decent amount of cavalry as well. That's pretty heavily armored stuff. And looks like some heavy infantry there. But I am already pounding away with my artillery. I don't see their artillery that the general mentioned, so... Oh, there it is. That's too far away for me to do much against at this point. And this visibility, wow, that's pretty awful. I think I'm going to start moving my artillery to a different position here. Move them up there. I'm going to send my missile cavalry to go harass their missile cavalry. So I'm going to get a little bit of a looser formation there while I do it. Hopefully I can forget about those guys and let them do their thing. Pull my knights back here to support my artillery as it moves up. And I want to put my fanatics out front because they're more or less expendable. If anybody's going to stand right in front of my cannons, it's going to be them. Those cannons are going to be a quick target. Oh, wow, alright, these guys engaged me right away, which I have to admit was not expected. Hoping I can take them out. I do outnumber them. Tighten up that formation though. Let's give these guys some explicit orders to charge. And they're firing at me with artillery. Excellent, excellent. Okay. I'm in some trouble here. I'm gonna pull these guys back. Let them at least keep, maybe they'll take a couple parting shots, but holy mackerel, that's not ideal. Alright, my artillery is more or less in position, so I want to get them firing as fast as I can. Get my sergeants up here. I'm going to bring my heavy infantry in right away, bog down these guys. Oh, nope, hold their position. Now that those guys are fleeing, I don't want to chase them too far. Alright, let's get these guys up here. Pull that general's bodyguard up and the spear militia up here to seal that flank. Don't want these guys actually firing so much at will as they currently are. I'd like to have them come after that heavy cav. It looks like I have gotten this boxed off fairly well. These guys will come back from routing. I'm just going to have them harass those peasants. Truthfully, I don't think they're going to do much good anywhere else. Disable skirmish mode on a couple of these. And let's get my knights up here closer to the fray. My spearmen stuck in against their heavy cav. I want to bring my general around. That could have been a mistake. We'll see. Got them firing there. And let's move some knights up here to cover this gap because, yep, my general's in some trouble. Gotta bring him through. Get these guys pulled back more to the main line. Get my knights in to cover against these spearmen. That should be a fairly good fight, good matchup for them, I think. Yeah, it seems like it's going all right at least. What's their target
Enemy
right
general
now?
flees. He has keine honor.
Their artillery is shelling me from quite a ways off, which is not Not what I want, that's for sure. I do have a flanking motion here that I can bring together. That'll send some of them to turn and tail. I'll bring that down the front line. Now I want to get that general out of here because he is a little bit outnumbered. This is coming together rather well though, actually. Spears are holding their ground, which I would expect against cavalry like that. I did finally lose a unit of militiamen here though, it looks like. Let's pull those guys back. Before they can get to my cannons, I would like to send my knights in. I'm going to set my artillery, who seems to have abandoned their pieces because they're in combat, and that's not ideal. Get their general in there. Knights in to kind of seal that off again. Things are getting a little bit chaotic around this circle.
This battle progresses well for the Empire. Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
What am I doing here? I gotta set my artillery to target their artillery, I think. As best that I can. Hopefully they can get back on their pieces. Yes, got that. Alright, because their artillery is really pounding me. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's coming after me. Alright, let's bring this general back, because I do not like to have my cavalry walking forward into the enemy army. Get them back. They're not listening to me because they're too excited to fight. Holy cow, that was bad. Alright, well they took out one of my cannons. They're using flaming ammunition and I'm just using standard, so that gives me a little bit of an accuracy advantage against them, but when they hit they do quite a bit more damage.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Forwards!
And I've scared off their general right there. Take a couple pot shots at him with my crossbows as he walks away. And I will get my knights defending my cannons yet again. These guys have got the fight knocked out of them. Chase them down a little bit, but I'm not going to get too far because they're probably going to rally at some point here. If I carry through, I might get those archers to flee. Who is this way out here? Ha! A couple of my feudal knights. They're probably about done for it. But I'll let them just kind of fight until they get knocked out. These guys I'll pull back. I think that's going to be pretty much it, actually. It looks like their force is mostly on the run. It was a little bit dicey when they broke through my cannons there, but after that happened, and I was able to spin it around, I think, for the most part, I've stopped them. Keep my artillery firing on him here, but it's not being terribly accurate. My general stayed nice and out of the fray the whole time, so he is pretty loose. These guys could use some help. I'm going to send him up around, hopefully use him to take out their artillery. It's pretty much the last piece of resistance that I've got. Actually, I'll send the last of all my cavalry up there.
This battle progresses well for the Empire. Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
Got my crossbows out of the way, and I'll send my infantry here to kind of seal the deal.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Forwards, and crush the enemy.
Oh, this missile cavalry is going to be difficult to take out. I'm going to deal with them actually by sending a little bit of exploding ammunition from my artillery pieces straight at them. Meanwhile, I'll let my heavy cavalry take out their artillery pieces. And I'll just try to pick them off with missile units.
This battle progresses well for the Empire. Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
Yeah, it looks like I've pretty much got them wrapped up here. I'll capture some of these guys. Let's see, I've already got over 300 prisoners down there. Yeah, I'll capture some of these guys, and there we go.
It is time to press the attack.
Alright. Didn't take much to scare them away after we did that. Alright. Let their remainder kind of flee off the map here, but as a whole, I'd say that went fairly well, about as well as I could have expected. I lost most of my cannon fodder, but again, that's kind of what you expect when you throw them on the front line, and they held out a lot longer than I anticipated. It helped that as they advanced towards me, I managed to get, if not a little bit of high ground here, a little bit of level ground. You know, really kept them from getting any momentum on a charge, and although I definitely took the worst of it as far as number of casualties here, having that front line right in front of my artillery allowed me to kind of get some shots off on them and really take out a lot of their cavalry before it could get momentum and do a lot of damage to me with the charge. Could have managed my missile units a lot better, I think, though I did lose some of them in engagements there, but overall I think the number of infantry units I've got left from my heavy corps really is a positive. I could have gone toe to toe with them for a little bit longer in a melee fight if I had to. I still have most of my heavy troops. Yeah. Anyway, there it is. Another skirmish. Another victory. A lot less close than the last one.
Superiority through victory.